My name is Marcus King, and I'm here to present you my project on the street gangs of the Northern Triangle of Central America. Background information. The Central American Triangle consists of three countries, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. The area is plagued with chronic violence, corruption, and a lack of economic opportunities. Because of this, there are a high number of people who migrate the area, heading to the U.S. and Mexican border, and also because of the violence, the corruption, and the lack of economic opportunities, there's constant international intervention from countries like the US and Canada, and also from international organizations like the UN. This area is also plagued with a long history of civil unrest. The gang problem. The gangs within the triangle are responsible for the high homicide rates in Central America. The two most prominent gangs are MS-13 and M18. Their violence and the wars are stem over territory, because with territory you have the control and power over these areas, and it shows that you are the most dominant, gang in that area. The gangs have involvements in the illegal drug trade, prostitution, and extortion. The gangs are product of the unstable infrastructure of these countries, which you see in the Civil War in El Salvador, which was which was fighting for social and economic reform. The Honduras coup, where the people overthrew the government because the president was abusing the constitution, and the Guatemalan Civil War. This video right here is over want to highlight the type of conditions these people live in within the Northern Triangle.
President Donald Trump has imposed a zero-tolerance policy against migrants trying to cross the southern border into the United States.
The United States will not be a migrant camp, and it will not be a refugee holding facility. It won't be. You look at what's happening in Europe, you look at what's happening in other places, we can't allow that to happen to the United States, not on my watch.
He's spoken of wanting to avoid a situation similar to the one in Europe. The European migrant crisis stemmed mainly from the ongoing civil war in Syria, with nearly half of all refugees coming from the war-torn country. Whilst there is nothing on the scale of the conflict in Syria driving people to the United States, it is clear that the violence plaguing parts of Central America is a huge factor. The biggest increases in migration come from three countries referred to as the Northern Triangle: Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. 110,000 asylum seekers came from the Northern Triangle in 2015, 5 times more than in 2012. Menaced by drug trafficking, corruption, and violent crime by gangs such as MS-13, the region is considered one of the deadliest in the world. A lot of that is to do with geography. It's sandwiched between some of the world's largest drug producers in South America and the world's largest consumer of illegal drugs, the US. The Northern Triangle has become a conduit of crime, as 90% of all cocaine that flows into the US comes through the region. The murder rate in these countries is shockingly high. El Salvador is the deadliest place in the world that's not a war zone, with more than 5,200 people killed in 2016. Extortion is also rampant, with Salvadorians paying an estimated $400 million in extortion fees to organized crime groups. This legacy of poverty, corruption, and crime can be traced back to the long-lasting instability in the region. Decades-long civil wars in El Salvador and Guatemala killed thousands, and the large number of unemployed men with easy access to weapons morphed into organized criminal groups. And gangs did not just form in these countries. MS-13 actually originated in Los Angeles in the 1980s by Salvadorians who had fled the Civil War. The gang grew in scale throughout Central America following large-scale deportations from the US of undocumented immigrants with criminal records in the 1990s. All this despite the fact that the U.S. has provided over $1 billion of aid over the past decade to combat organized crime in the region. The president continues to talk tough on migrants trying to enter the U.S. at the southern border. But until violent crime is quashed in the Northern Triangle, thousands of people will continue to flee the region for a better life.
The first gang we're going to be covering is MS-13. This gang originated in the 1970s and 80s in Los Angeles, California. Originally, the gang was set up to protect Salvadorians, immigrants from other gangs in the Los Angeles area. It was made up mostly of Salvadorians who were deported back to El Salvador by the Clinton administration after the closure of the Salvadorian Civil War in 1992. It's the largest presence within the Central American Triangle and internationally, with pockets of MS-13 gangs in the U.S. and now in Canada and in Mexico. They had their hands in murders, illegal drug trade, prostitution, racketeering, money laundering, extortion, kidnapping, robbery, illegal immigration, battery, and prostitution. The next gang we're going to talk about is M18, or the 18th Street Gang. The 18th Street Gang started near 18th Street and Union Avenue in the Rampart District of Los Angeles, California. Unlike MS-13, the M18 gang was a result of the Class of 14 gang, which was another gang in Los Angeles refusing to allow immigrants to join, causing the group to split in half. Due to this split, the M18 gang is known as one of the first multi-race gangs in the area. Due to heavy recruitment into Central America, the group has started a large presence in the Triangle, which has started a deadly tough war with MS-13. The gang has their hands into the drug trafficking trade, assault, arson, robbery, kidnapping, pandering, money laundering, extortion, arms trafficking, human trafficking, theft, murder, racketeering, and fraud. The main points. Well, the light point, for my light point, I want to put that these gangs are made up of disenfranchised people looking for a sense of belonging to something. And I say that because a lot of these places don't have a lot of different opportunities and things like that. So a lot of people are looking for different ways to make it and things like that. That's why you see the high rates of recruitment into these street gangs, because they feel like they're a part of something. They feel like they're a part of something that can help, transform their lives and different things like that. Because a lot of these people might not be bad people. It's just the choice. It's just they have really no other option of a way to protecting themselves and protecting their family. Exam points, things I want you to remember. The Central American Triangle consists of three countries: El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. MS-13 and M18 are the most popular gangs, and these gangs are a product of the unstable infrastructure in these countries, like the El Salvadorian Civil War, the coup on Honduras, and the Guatemalan Civil War.